All right, Mr. Chair, 701, and you have 3 members, so I'll let you call us to order.
Sure. Let's have the meeting. We have a quorum of 3 people. Uh, Kevin, can you do the roll call for us?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Masood Rahid,
Present.
Abraham Turkey,
Present.
Chair Faisal Azim.
Present.
Perfect, and we will expect your Madam Vice Chair Mahdi Amajan anytime. And we did, just to note for the record, thank you for sending the resignation of Juan Pablo Villalobos onto it. So you just have a committee of 4 going forward. So back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Do I need to do something explicitly or like say something in this meeting to verify or what?
No.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. The first topic on the agenda is to approve the notes from the last meeting, May 13. Do I have a motion to approve the notes?
I motion to approve the notes from last meeting.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. The motion to approve the notes of the last meeting is here. So everybody who wants to approve, say yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody doesn't want to approve? Okay, the motion to approve the notes from the last meeting on May 13 have been approved. Before we jump into the interview with Tanya, we had a couple of things that Anne wanted to bring up. So I'll give the floor to Anne. Go ahead.
Hi, y'all. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Faisal. I asked for a few minutes just to clarify some things that have come out of this meeting as a discussion. So I wanted to let you know. First and foremost, I spoke with Courtney, and Courtney spoke with Adriana. We are all in agreement that we do not need to actually do anything with the bylaws at this point when it comes to the makeup of the team. So we are going to recommend that you just proceed as is. Everybody is aware of all the discussions and everybody's comfortable, but we're running out of time. So we're going to keep going. The second piece is I also just wanted to call out, when we were talking last week, I didn't want to interrupt. You all have a lot of interview questions that you're going to try and get through. I'm a little worried that you do not actually have sufficient time to get through the number of questions you have for the board members. And I'm wondering if you would be open to allowing them more time and extending out additional meetings into the future just to grant everybody enough time to have the conversations that I think you want to have. So I'll let you discuss that. It's your commission. You will get to decide that, but it does seem like you're trying to do a lot in a very short amount of time. The final piece that I just wanted to put out there is that we have said that we wanted to be done by June. I've confirmed that that's within our bylaws, but it's not expected and you do not have to. So if you need more time to go into July and August, you are okay. The reason I put it that way is because we have board members who are going to start traveling in mid-June, and we will have at least one board member out from mid-June through mid-July. So if you did want to have more time and you wanted to have more conversations, there's sort of a block where you wouldn't be able to talk to certain people during that time, but you do have the ability to go past those dates. So that's all I wanted to make sure you were aware of. And I'm also here if you had any questions for me tonight before we got started.
So my previous understanding was that the report is due on the budget meeting, which was the mid-June meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you. So if we don't do that, then where do we present it and how does the budget take our recommendation into
Well, the really good news is this amazing person on here whose name is Clerk Moss, who's in charge of the agendas for the board. And we can add you. So it would be that we would add you to a work session or to a business session later in the month of July or August, depending on when. And you all could decide who needed to go to that meeting. We would need at least one member to attend to present, but otherwise it would be up to you all as to how many others would like to attend.
Welcome, Adya. You're on
I
mute.
can't hear you.
Sorry, I was here throughout, but you guys couldn't see or hear me, and I could hear you saying that I'm not there.
Okay, so at least you got to know what
Yeah,
Anne covered.
I
Love
just
that.
re-logged in. I logged in again, and I missed that part after you guys did the roll call without me.
Okay,
Uh,
so I think the short answer is you all can have a budget. We can put you onto the agenda anytime in July or August, and we can make an approval at that point. If you do increase their pay and we need to go back, basically we do an adjustment for them. They get a one-time payment of more money and then it goes into their regular salaries once we get past that date. So we do this often. We have unions that we bargain with. And we go back and we do back pay during those sometimes as well.
okay. So one of the items that we have for today is to look at the timeline. And based on our questions and maybe your past experience, how much time do you think it will take if you want to cover those kind of questions per person?
You know what I think might be fun? Let's see how long Tanya's takes, and then let me stay on here. We'll talk afterwards and we can have a discussion about, based on that interaction, how much time we all think it's going to take. Is that fair?
Sure. Masood, you have a comment?
Yeah, I wanted to see if we can reduce the number of questions and with based on what Anne is going to tell us or how much time we have, we can pare down the important questions, because the reason I'm calling it out but that way is because in the beginning we all committed ourselves to this commission, understanding a certain timeline and certain duration, and now it is becoming much longer commitment. I do want to recognize on my own behalf and everybody else's behalf that this is a little bit more than what we had originally started as an understanding.
Yeah. And if we want to talk about that more at the end of this, I'm absolutely up for that. And Tanya might also have some thoughts on it. So all of us can weigh in over the course of the day and we'll figure this out together. But Masood, I really appreciate your willingness to even be on this and to participate and to engage in such an amazing way. So yes, we recognize this is your committee. I just wanted to make sure that I was not the reason that you were making decisions.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And I think one other thing, I think just wanted to verify that all the commissioners have been given our questions already. So I think one of our hope was that we would not have to ask those questions, but hopefully they will cover most, if not all of those in their kind of initial statement. And so hopefully that can also help with the time. Okay. Anything else? Any other feedback that anybody
I'll
else
be
has?
here all evening, so bug me. We can bug me all night. You're great.
Yeah, I would appreciate if you could talk about it at the end again.
Sounds good.
too.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
I'm gonna turn my camera off. I'll see you in a little bit.
Thanks, Anne, for the feedback. So the next item on the agenda is the interview with the county administrator, Tanya. Tanya, thank you so much for joining us today. Why don't you start with your introduction, and then maybe all of us can introduce the board member for Salary Commission, which Tanya may not be familiar with, can introduce them as well.
Yeah, well, good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is Tanya Ange. I have the pleasure of serving as the county administrator for Washington County. I have been in my role since August of 2020.
Thank you so much, Tanya. My name is Faisal. I'm the commissioner of this Salary Board Commission, and my background is electrical engineer. I've been in Oregon for over 25 years, and glad to be involved in this. Madhya, go ahead.
Hi, Tanya. I'm Madiha Amjad. I'm the vice chair of this committee. My background is in finance and accounting. And my family has been in Oregon since last 8 years, and we love it here.
Masood, go ahead.
My name is Masood Rashid. I've been living in Washington County for over 25 years, off and on, and an electrical engineer with some management experience.
Go ahead, Ibrahim.
Ibrahim Turki. I am a retired civil engineer and a construction project manager. Was working for Washington County for the last 34 years. I lived in the Portland area for the last 45 years.
Thank you so much. So Tanya, we are excited to hear from you and understand the way our county works. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm eager to hear your questions because what's different from the commissioners, I didn't get pre-questions from you. So I have some opening comments and then happy to have a dialogue from there. So as county administrator, I am a professional administrator. I'm appointed by the Board of Commissioners. I'm one of 3 direct reports to the board. The other 2 are County Council and the CWS, CEO, Executive Director. Washington County operates what's called the council manager form of government. This form of government became very popular in the early 20th century. And at that time in the United States history, local governments were trying to root out corruption within local governments and sought ways to reduce the political corruption as well. There have been studies conducted since that time that find that council manager forms of governments present a higher level of stability for services to the community, as well as higher financial ratings. Within the council manager form, each of the 5 individually elected commissioners come together collectively to comprise one singular policy-making body. Thus, the chair and the commissioners have an equal voice and all vote on all policy decisions. The chair, per our charter, has additional authority regarding setting the agenda, running board meetings, and serving as, in essence, the figurehead for our commission. There's also additional work that of the chair and the 4 elected commissioners. However, because the commissioner is an equal member of the board, he or she, in our case, Chair Harrington, has no authority to veto or otherwise alter the majority of the commission. The board then hires a manager administrator, me, to oversee the operations of the government. This allows the Board of Commissioners to focus on the governing and policy direction of the county. And I want to underscore their plate is full. We are a large, dynamic county. They're engaged with the community, lobbying at the legislature, constituent communications, and much, much more. So I think in this conversation, you wanted to focus on me and what my role is. So I am responsible for hiring government employees based on their professional qualifications and competitive services. I remain accountable to the people through the people's elected representatives on our Board of Commissioners. If I fail to meet the Board of Commissioners' expectations, I could be fired at any point in time and replaced through a simple majority of the board. I want to now talk about the Code of Ethics. Due to my Code of Ethics, I am prohibited from participating in any political activities. This is articulated within the ICMA, which is the International City County Management Association Code of Ethics. Per the Code of Ethics, I am to refrain from all political activities which undermine the political confidence in professional administrators. I don't donate money to campaigns, advocate for political candidates, run for elected office, or otherwise position myself within politics. So why? This assures that the confidence of the public and the commissioners that I serve for, that all people equally, regardless of political interest, are representative. So I am proud to be a member of the City County Management Association and agree to abide by the strict Code of Ethics. The ICMA Code of Ethics specifies 12 ethical principles and professional conduct, including complete dedication to democracy and fair and equitable delivery of services to all residents. These standards actually go beyond those that are required by law. So now let's focus a bit more about my role. Some of my duties include implementing board policies. This includes translating the board's legislative decisions into actionable plans and programs and effectuating on those plans and programs. I manage the county operations. This includes overseeing all county departments and services to ensure effective, efficient, and equitable delivery of services to our community. I'm responsible for budget preparation and administration. This includes developing and managing the county's annual budget and capital improvement plan. And I will just note that we are actually just embarking on year 3 of the county's capital improvement plan. And we've just completed our first ever this last year facility condition index so that we can better plan for our facility needs moving forward. And this is all underscored by ensuring that we have fiscal responsibility and stability. I provide staff leadership. This includes selecting, evaluating, and guiding appointment department heads and staff to align with the county goals and the board policy direction. Strategic planning and analysis, conducting analysis to improve county services and future plans. As a county, we are committed to being a learning organization. This means that as we serve a dynamic community, we need to learn from our dynamic community and continue to evolve our services and plans to meet our community needs. And then I do provide administrative support to the board, which includes providing support to the Board of Commissioners within their day-to-day legislative and policy functions. And with that, I will conclude there and open it up for questions from you.
So you already touched on this, but in terms of differences in responsibilities between chair and the other commissioners, so in terms of voting and policy setting, my understanding is it's basically the same in terms of running the meetings and like figuring out the agendas. That's where the difference is. Am I missing anything major, or is that kind of a good summary?
So the chair many times serves as what we could say as the figurehead. Sometimes the figurehead could be as speaking at a groundbreaking or ribbon cutting. A figurehead could also be called on by Metro, a regional government, to be the county liaison to help negotiate what the future of supportive housing services are. And so the spectrum of what the figurehead as chair could be in that policy-making role is significant and broad. And that is a very different role than our district commissioners are required to play.
I see. And this, I don't know how much detail you can talk into is, but since we're looking at comparing Washington County with some of the neighboring counties, can you maybe talk about at a high level how the commissioner responsibilities or the governance varies between Multnomah County and other neighboring counties?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So Washington County compares most similarly to Clackamas County or Lane County. Both of those counties operate also under the council manager form of government. Multnomah County does not operate under the council manager form of government. They operate, and I won't go into political science or a political administration dialogue, because that would be a whole nother level of like the history of government within the United States. But Multnomah County actually operates what is called a strong mayor form of government. The chair there actually has budget authority, has supervisory authority, not only to the chief operating officer, but also to department directors.
Would you consider the Clackamas and Lynn County similar, not only in the form of government, but also in size and the scope?
No, I wouldn't actually. And that's where we affectionately say, when you meet one county, you meet one county. So comparing local governments is extremely hard, and that's where I want to commend this commission on the work that you're doing. So here's some unique factors that we have in Washington County that actually impacts our elected officials and the scope of their work. So Washington County is the second largest county by population. Our current population is approximately 620,000. We are projected to be the largest county within the state of Oregon in the next 10 years. If you look at the makeup or the demographics of the county, we have the largest urban unincorporated area within the state. Based on the population of the urban unincorporated area, that urban unincorporated area, if it were incorporated, would be the second largest city in the state to Portland. Within that urban unincorporated area, the Board of Commissioners delivers services through special districts, such as our Urban Roads Maintenance District, our expanded Sheriff Patrol District, to their services, to those, areas of the county. That is very different to the demographic makeup of Clackamas and or Lane County. So what's really challenging, the feat that you have, is there's not a one-to-one similarity of roles and responsibilities and scope of work within the state.
Can you do a similar comparison to city governments also within the area, which is very similar to Washington County and which might be very different?
Cities and counties have very different functions. So by function, the county is a creation of the state. So many of the services that the county delivers are in essence passed down services from the state. They may be shared, i.e. the state pays for all or a portion of those services, or the state mandates that by the creation of counties, we are required to deliver those services. Cities do not have that same role or function. So some of those examples, counties deliver jail services. The cities in Washington County do not deliver jail services. The county is responsible for staffing our district attorney's office, while the district attorney is a state employee. So there's differences between cities and counties as far as their operating. I will also note our board is considered, they're considered working full-time, and that is because the vast needs that our 5 members of our board have to serving the many committees that we have through our large county, as well as ensuring ample time to participate in our vast legislative needs. Part of the difference between cities and counties, and the county to be very involved within our legislative process, is due to that county state shared service. And what we are experiencing as a county is continued mandates, unfunded mandates, and or underfunded mandates coming from the state. So our board is actively involved in ensuring that we are getting the most resources to delivering the expectations that we are given to serving our community.
I have a question. Do you have any idea what kind of support the Washington County Commissioners have in terms of support staff?
I do have an idea of that. So all staff report through me. So I want to go back. The board has 3 direct reports. That includes me, county administrator, county council, and CWS executive director. The board is allocated staff. The chair has 1 support staff assistant, 1 full-time, and then the district commissioners each share 0.5. So there's 3 staff divided between the 5 commissioners.
Do you feel that was?
And this is a much lower level than Clackamas County or Multnomah County.
That's for my next question. So thanks.
Do you feel that was that the staffing level for those commissioners and the chair is sufficient?
Oh, that's a good question. No, I don't. And I don't feel our staffing levels at Washington County is sufficient either in general. And this goes to Oregon property tax law. In Oregon in the 1990s, Oregon constitutional law was passed that it capped and effectively rolled back our permanent tax rate. And so if you look at not only our board, but services across our Washington County portfolio, we are far below what the average is. And so I say that because we do have many, many needs in Washington County, not only in the commissioner's office, but also throughout the county. And I say that at the same time, and I know we're talking about the commissioners, but I just want to highlight staff. I am so proud at our leaders at all levels of Washington County and how they continue to deliver service that is frankly far and beyond what our other entities do with higher levels of resources.
Any plans to add any staff to the commissioners in the next couple of years?
So right now we do not have plans. Actually, I am ending the conversation with you all today after our budget committee just had approved our budget. This year's fiscal budget includes $20.5 million of reduction in our general fund. This is our 5th year of reductions in our general fund. And so part of this is the reality that due to Oregon property tax law, our revenues are not keeping pace with our expenditures. We've also had long-term financial resources that just have reached their end of life, and we are having to fill the gap. We're also seeing increase in state mandates and other requirements and just general inflation that many of us are experiencing not only within our work lives, but also our personal lives. So to answer your question, there are no firm plans to add, and we have needs in many departments within the county.
Tanya, I do have a question that you're already addressing or providing some information. The question is regarding what is the source of revenue, and then the next question, the sub bullet is going to be is where will the salaries that we are going to propose, which budget is going to come from, which portion of the budget is going to come from? 2 questions.
Yeah, so on a philosophical note, when we talk about salaries, I'm a proponent to align salaries with what the market is. The reality of local governments is we will never have enough revenue to actually meet what markets we will never have enough revenue to meet what our available resources are. Let me rephrase that. So we have to make sure, and I'm gonna answer your question from a staff perspective and an HR perspective. So from an HR perspective, we know we need to provide market rate salaries. That doesn't mean you have to be above market. But once we go below market, we start to see additional attrition, and there's lower attraction for individuals to step into positions. So being at market rate is incredibly important from our HR strategy, to the point that we are currently undergoing a class and compensation study, which we anticipate to align at least with a first phase of implementation with next year's budget. One could ask, why are you doing this at the same time you're making budget reductions? We deliver services through people as a county, and we need to be making sure that we are attracting and we're retaining the best in service. Did that answer your question?
The question was a little bit different, but let me ask the question. What is the source of the county's revenue? And if there is a separate budget out of that revenue, say, for instance, we have, say, $1 billion of revenue coming in from some mysterious source, when you take down, and then there are going to be lots of sections or budgets or buckets, which bucket the salaries are going to come from?
Okay, thank you for that clarification, and maybe I provided you some more information in my previous answer. So the county has what's called internal service funds. So internal service funds includes like the Board of Commissioners, it includes finance, HR, IT, etc. Those costs are really shared or borne by all. So those costs are then cost allocated out to the various departments, because as a county, we have multiple revenue streams. We have property tax, we have state funds, we have federal funds, we have grant, etc. And so that way we can have a true cost to service analysis. So if your question is, what is the board, like who's paying for the board's cost? It is all of the revenues the county receives is charged for those costs, not just property taxes.
Understood, and that does provide what I was kind of looking for. That's okay. That's good. Thank you.
Thanks for coming back with a clarification.
So how have you seen, so you mentioned that Washington County, based on the size of the county as well as demographic, has like a lot of needs. So how has the role or the responsibilities of the chairs and just the county government in general has changed in the last couple of years, and how do you see it changing in the near future in terms of scope of work or new programs and things like that?
Oh, this is a good question. So I can't believe I'm embarking on 5 years in August with the county. I can't believe that. It's gone by really, really fast. So the board is really grappling with some challenging issues. And many are related to financial issues. We have this board that's currently seated. Some started during COVID. We saw and we experienced what we all felt through COVID, and the county had a significant role in that response through as we serve as the public health authority. We were also recipients of the federal dollars through the CARES Act and ARPA Act. Those federal funds are now expiring, and so we're seeing this cliff effect. The board is grappling with, like, how do we fund county services, because our revenues are far outpacing our expenditures based on growing community, state mandates, general inflation. And so they're like, how do we shape what the future of the county is? So to me, that's one of their highest priorities. We also, I mentioned our capital improvement plan. We are fortunate that our LUT department has had a longstanding history of transportation planning. but we have never had an integrated capital improvement plan up to 2 years ago. And so we as a county are really coming to get, like, how do we plan for all needs and how do we finance needs? So these are top of mind on the board. And that's coupled with legislative changes coming down from the state. And especially right now, there's a high degree of community uncertainty given changes at the federal government. I will note that the county is reliant on $68 million that is direct federal funding and or federal state pass-through funding. And so the uncertainty of what happens if we lose that funding is really high on this board's focus area. From a strategic planning, guidance, governance, and policy direction.
Thank you. I have a question for you. I wanted to hear your opinion about it. This is the similar question that I would be asking all the board members when they're going to come and talk to us. Question that I have is that from last year or last time, 2 years ago, to today is 23 versus 25. What has changed in terms of the responsibilities and the scope for the board? Has it increased? Has it decreased? Has it stayed the same?
Oh, so number one, I will never speak for an elected official. So I look forward to the conversation that you have, and based on this conversation, and we had 30 minutes and we're already over, I highly anticipate you will need more than 10 minutes with each of our commissioners. I will say that's my anticipation. Communities are dynamic. We are 24/7 operating ecosystems because our community operates in that way. So I can't say, like, I would ask that you ask the question to the individual commissioners, what has changed in this work, in their work, because I really do not ever want to speak for someone else. From a governance standpoint, for me to do my job, and my job is directing the rest of the organization. I need a board that is fully committed and invested in the future of the county. So what does that mean by time? That's hard to annotate, but they are a full-time board. And so I need their full-time attention on the county to help provide that governance and policy direction as we go through these turbulent times. So what that means to their work, I would suggest that's a follow-up to them. But if I don't have a board that's supportive and aligned in the direction of the county, then I can't do my job.
Fair enough. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. I have a question coming back to what we talked earlier when we were discussing Multnomah versus Washington, and you said Multnomah has a different governance style. And when we were reviewing the external comparators, we saw that the chair salary in Multnomah County is 65% more than the commissioners, and it was not the same for the other counties. So should we be digging into the reason of that, or just completely different governance style? We should just not try to compare it to Multnomah and just look at Clackamas and Lane more.
So I think this is where I am balancing on the spirit of the charter. The charter says you're an independent salary commission, so you have the responsibility to set the salaries of the commission. As I stated, there's different forms of government. So one of the differences, and I'll just speak to the differences, is that the chair of Multnomah County presents the budget, where in Washington County, I'm the budget officer. So I'm presenting the budget. That's one difference. The chair in Multnomah County actually supervises department directors. That is under my purview as county administrator. So they're different roles. And so I want to kind of separate out what different roles are versus what is governance policy making. Because there is significant work that our chair and our board does in the governance policy making. So they're different roles, and yet there's still work occurring.
makes
So
sense.
it's challenging. To compare the two, but
Thanks.
Yeah, and I think the way I think about it, Maria, is that we should try to make use of all the information that we have, and understanding these differences help us do a better job.
Tanya, I have one question back to the role of the chair versus the commissioners. Does the chair have more of a role in setting the agenda for the body, for the board?
yes, the chair does.
Okay.
The chair is also has taken on the responsibility in Washington County. It is not listed in the charter, but it is part of our practice in the county that the chair has taken on the management of our planning, not just for the board meetings, but our Thursday roundtable meetings, which the roundtable. So there's board meetings where official action can occur, the votes can occur. Work session is discussion. So many times there's a work session before there's a board meeting. Roundtables are a time for those 5 individual commissioners to come together as one body, because actually each commissioner has limited ability on their own. So they actually have to make all decisions and actions as a group. So this is an opportunity for them to talk about a bit deeper. Maybe it's not a decision, but it's just a discussion item. So I found the roundtables extremely helpful as a county administrator and staff to talk about our challenges, for example, in budget. Like, here's what our fiscal forecast is. Here's how things are shaping up, because it's more of a group conversation amongst the board than a presentation and reaction. So the chair is very heavily involved in that. The chair many times is also, I'll call it a first stop before board conversation, maybe on emerging issue. And guess what? The county is a large county. We do have emerging issues that come up from time to time. Sometimes most often I would like them to be more infrequent than they are frequent, but that's my own editorial.
Thank you.
Did that answer your question, Ibram? Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions for Tanya?
I don't have any questions. It was a very insightful conversation with Tanya. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the detailed answer and education first.
Yeah, happy to have any follow-up or answer any follow-ups the Salary Commission may have.
Thank you.
Okay.
So going on to the next agenda, we had pushed out finalizing the internal review comparator committee, internal comparator review committee, because we wanted to make sure that we know whether Joan will be joining us or not. So based on that, I think between the 4 of us, we should finalize the internal review committee. I'd like to volunteer myself on that, and then if I can get one more volunteer.
So could you just specify what for the internal comparators?
Yeah, for the internal comparator. So I think it'll be just like we are doing for the report and a committee for the external review. I wanted to do one committee for the internal review also, so they can do some of the legwork and then present to this board. And so basically I think that will be just more effective time of the board, where a couple of people can meet, figure out how we want to do the comparison based on the internal, and then they won't make any decisions, but they will review the information in the meeting here.
I can volunteer.
So I just need one. Both Masood and Madhya volunteered.
Oh, then it's fine. If he volunteer first, it's fine.
Okay, Madhya, you and I will be writing the report too, so we'll get the opportunity to write a report in that way too.
Yes.
So just to make sure, can one of you? I'll
help you.
Okay, sounds good.
I just had one question after this session. I don't know who should I ask, Tanya, or could we get the salaries of the support staff? Just to look how much, since they talked about that they have less support staff and it's shared, I just want to see what a support staff costs in the budget that they don't have it, and how much work of a support staff our commissioners are doing, just like to see.
Actually, that reminds me, Madhya, that there were a couple of things that we had discussed in the last meeting. I think you had brought this up also, that for the internal reviews, I think we were missing some of the numbers that we wanted to have.
Tanya herself, the county commissioner, county administrator's salary is not on this page.
Right. So I think that is something we wanted to get feedback. And then I think the second thing that Masood had asked for was an org chart. And I think maybe Anne had mentioned that you guys had just updated it recently. I do see one online, which is from 22. I'm assuming that's not the most up to date. So if you can,
Chair,
get that.
I did just send it to you just before.
Perfect.
I forgot to send it to you, but I forgot to send the request about updating. I think I did send a request, but maybe I never heard back about.
She did. We are working on the update for you to the chart. So I did talk to HR about that this week. And either it'll be today or tomorrow. I'm surprised that it actually hasn't come through, because they had the number updated in the chart for you. So I will talk to them. And then the other part is you had asked for the staff assistants. I don't think that's a problem. This is all public information. So let me talk to them tomorrow, and we can work on securing that for you by Thursday.
And just to make sure, I think Madhya wanted it both for the staff as well as for Tanya.
Yes. So the Tanya piece has been updated. The piece for the staff assistants is just an actual for where they are on salaries right now, and I can get that to you quickly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for the reminder, Madhya. Okay, so I think we have finalized the internal comparator review committee as well. The next topic on the agenda is to review the timeline for the commission. I think there's kind of like, I think, couple of pieces of information that we already had discussion on. We wanted to make sure that for one of the week on incoming weeks, we wanted to figure out when to have the meeting and make sure that it will work for the county staff as well as for, I think Masood had mentioned he might be out for some of those days. We wanted to make sure, just based on the original information. I think the new information that we have is both in terms of the requirement on when we need to do the report, as well as the time required for the interviews, right? So I think we can think about all of these things as we are discussing the update.
I'm sorry, I missed the start when Anne was talking about.
So Anne clarified for us that it is not the June 17th meeting is not a hard requirement for us to do it. It is, the way I understood it, is the recommended time because that matches the budget. But this is something that they are used to, that sometimes with their discussions with staff and the salaries are set later on, and then they do a one-time payment to kind of cover that. So it is, they have a system in place to handle that if we need to go beyond June 17th.
Could you specify, sorry, Anne, lay out again the blackout times that you had indicated previously, Anne?
Yeah, it's not even blackout. It's just a recognition that there will be travel for some of the commissioners between June 17th and July 17th. we'll still have quorums. So there will still be people available to answer, and we could get you the who would be out at different points in time if you decided to do interviews further into those months. But I just wanted to make individuals aware that that's part of it. They're not as available during that month, but we can make it work.
Thanks,
As
Anne.
interested. Yeah.
So Tony, I'll give you the floor if you want to bring up what our current timeline looks like, and then we can have our discussion with that.
Yes.
I mean, we agree now first that 10 minutes is not going to be sufficient,
Yes, definitely.
obviously, right?
I
especially
agree with that. Okay, so and just to make sure, so we have the agreement from all the commissioners to do interview for May 22nd today.
We currently do have commitment from all the commissioners for that, I think the 10-minute.
Yeah, we have it in our agenda for the next meeting that all 6 are interviewing.
Or 5. I think there's 5.
Yeah, all 5.
Right.
Okay, so I think the first piece I would like to fix is maybe split the interviews across 2 days. I think it will not be practical to do it in one day. What do you guys think?
Definitely.
I will still like to keep the interviews kind of close to each other if possible, because to me, some of those questions are important before we dig even more into doing basically analysis of the numbers and stuff. So I am looking forward to getting the interviews as soon as possible. One option I see, and you guys feel free to shoot it down, is to do an extra session on May 26th, like we did it this week, in case it works for the county folks. First, let's see if it even works for us or not, and if it doesn't, then no point in even asking.
I'm sorry, I won't be here that long weekend.
Okay. So then should we change the agenda for May 28th to be the remaining interviews?
I think I agree with that. I think we should interview the commissioners, because since they're going to get busier and go on vacation and get done with that part, so rest we can work on the report and stuff.
Okay.
assuming
So-
that they will be available at that day.
Yeah, so we still have to check if they will be available on the next Thursday. Yep.
We have 3 for sure available for next Thursday, and if
I'm wondering if Kevin, would you have any insight about availability for Thursday, May 28th?
like which 2 can push it out? We can do
Yeah.
3.
I am checking their calendars right now to see what their possible availability is.
Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, I was also thinking, should we try to do 3 and 2 and 2 and 3? 3 and 2 would have been my preference as well.
Yes, because since they've already committed to us, let's
Try to meet with as many people at that time.
Thursday.
Commission, I wonder if you have a thought around where you would want to place the chair's interview amongst those. Would you want her towards the beginning or towards the end? I don't know if that's a consideration you want to have.
Just so you all know, she has asked to go last.
Oh,
So if we're going to do this, I would say that we move her to the 28th.
Okay, I guess that answers the question.
okay.
I personally did not have a strong preference.
My preference was to go to either hear her from her side, her opinion or her side, either in the beginning or at the end. So if her vote is also to talk to us at the end, so that works out for me.
So, Mr. Chair, I think, so the 28th is next Wednesday.
Oh, it is
We have
Wednesday.
Oh, sorry.
Thursday there, and the chair, so we schedule me for the 28th. The chair has a prior commitment that day, as well as Commissioners Treese and looks like the commissioners are not available on Wednesday, the 28th.
Can we do 29th Thursday? Will that work for people here?
I think so, should be fine.
Oops.
Thursday, the 29th works for 4 of the 5 commissioners.
Okay, great. The one that doesn't work, we'll do it on this Thursday. Definitely include them in on the 22nd.
But we don't know which 4 out of 5, if Chair Harrington is not available on Thursday 29th and she wanted to go last, then we have to move her on 22nd.
I think Kevin would know that.
Yeah, the chair is Commissioner Snyder is the one with the conflict on the 29th.
Okay.
The other 4 are nothing is on their schedules as of right now.
Okay, so Commissioner Snyder, of course, will be on May 22. In terms of like, so do we get to choose who we interview in the first week versus the second week? I think we already know Harrington is on the second week. Who is the other person we want to move to May 29th? I personally don't have any.
I think the minutes have Commissioner Jerry Wiley and first, and then Nafisa Faye second on the agenda. I'm just reading from.
I wonder if you would want to also have one of the commissioners who actually has been on the commission longer on the second day in case there's any other
So,
questions.
so we will have, I was thinking that we want to have some of those folks in the first day, so that way we get more of our questions answered, potentially, or more insight, potentially, or more experience, I guess. We can look at that.
Anne and then Kevin.
Thank you, Tony. I just wanted to let you know the chair is available and open to doing the 29th. So that would take care of the 2 different day split, if you all were interested in that.
Okay. So Madhya, you were proposing we just keep the same order except Jason Snyder and go with that?
Yeah.
If it works for people. So that would be Commissioner Jerry, Commissioner Nafisa, and Commissioner Jason on
Yes.
22nd, and Commissioner Pam and Chair Harrington on. I'm okay with that, unless there's objection from them. I think. So they will confirm, but I guess, yeah, we can go with that.
Okay. I'm sorry, I did not capture all those.
Sorry. So we can do Commissioner Jerry Wiley, Commissioner Nafisa Faye, and Commissioner Jason Snyder on Thursday, May 22nd. And then Commissioner Pam Trees and Chair Harrington on the 29th.
Okay. I'll double check this. Okay, so then we need to decide on the
When are the 2 meetings that we have planned for? So I think we were thinking that we will have one meeting either on June 2nd or June 9th. I think with this, maybe we want to have it both weeks and see which days on the week can work potentially.
I will not be participate on June 9th. I will not be in town at all that week. Well, that's not true. I will be back in town for Thursday that week. So if I don't know what Thursday is. Thursday is 12th.
So yeah, so let's start with June 2nd first. Let's go with that. So on the week of June 2nd, if we keep our Thursday cadence, that will be June 5th. Can people meet on June 5th, Thursday?
I can do that.
Let me look at my own calendar as well.
So you want us to meet twice in that week?
No, just once, only on Thursday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, once is fine, yes. Okay. I can switch up some stuff, so.
And then I think Thursdays, Madhya, remind me, you are okay with 6:30, or did you prefer to be 7?
Thursday 6:30 is fine. Tuesdays was not working for me.
I see. Okay, so we will do June 5. And now the question is the next meeting, June 12th, Thursday?
Sure.
Does that work for everybody? So Masood, you said that you should be back
Yeah,
when?
I will be back around midnight, Wednesday, Thursday. So I will be available on Thursday evening for the call.
Appreciate you making the time for that. Ibrahim, sorry,
No, those all work for me. The only day that I'm not going to be available, and I don't need to be obviously on the 17th, if that stays there, June 17th.
okay. Yeah, I think we will need to decide at some point whether Madhya or I will be doing the presentation to the board. So I think this still looks doable to me. It's good to know that. Oh, actually, I see Anne's hand up. Go ahead, Anne.
So this is just a hiring practice comment that I have when I do interviews. I usually always give myself a bonus 10 minutes between the 30 minutes I expect. So if you were to do that, it means that you would start at 6:30, you'd have 5 minutes, at the beginning, invite them to come in, you'd have 30 minutes, and then that would put you at 7:05. You would not schedule your next one until 7:15, just in case you go over. And then you would back it up. So it's going to be a later night. I don't think the commissioners have any concerns with that, but I did want to say those words out loud for the structuring purpose.
That's a very good point. So we haven't talked about how much time are we allocating and how much time we are keeping in the middle. I personally was thinking 25 minutes with 10 minutes between. This is what I had in mind, but I'm very open to people's suggestions.
Yeah, I was going to say 20, 25 minutes. Maybe somebody will take 20, somebody will take 25. So minimum 20 we should budget.
Right. So I think what Anne is pointing out is that the May 22nd meeting may not finish in 90 minutes, depending on how things go.
I'm okay with going 15 minutes over. It's fine.
I think it's, even 20 minutes is not going to be enough. I believe at least, I think half an hour is the time that we should allow for each commissioner.
That brings me to say that not only that Anne has brought up a very good point of view and to allow us a little bit more time, but I also think that we are also shortchanging ourselves by meeting with people on 22nd and 29th, and then June 5th and June 12th, and trying to get the report wrapped up. I think that is pretty. Lots of work needs to be done, especially between Madhya and myself, to write a report, proofread it, and run it by for all of us to look at it. It's going to be just not one iteration at all. I think we'll end up taking at least more than one iteration of that report to understand and finalize it. So where I'm going with this is June 17 may not be the date, and we would need another session in between them.
So the way I think about it, so there's now we know that we have the flexibility of moving from June 17th. On June 5th, we can decide, and then Kevin can tell us if that's too late of a decision point or not, whether we saw on that meeting, we can also have on the agenda, whether you want to push out the date or not.
We can move the last date when you present based on your experience. So if you get into June and you're like, we're not anywhere near it, we need another couple meetings, we're great. It's not a big deal. I move people all the time on the agenda.
So if we decide on the June 5th, it should be okay, Anne?
Yeah. We can just keep pushing it until you all are ready. It really is okay. Don't rush it.
Sounds good. Is that okay, Masood? That we don't have
Yes,
to decide
and
right
I
now?
think that's where I was going with this one. That let's we would need a little bit more time and be honest to ourselves, right? And even at this point in time, because
yes,
let's face it, we all have written reports. They don't, and we need to have a little bit more time there.
Also, I know we can do it later, but 13th, 14th, and 15th June, I won't be able to do anything because of commitments. So 17th just hits right after that. So
yeah, I think then we'll just have to keep in mind that it might be hard to get answers from certain people during those 4 weeks between June 17th and July 17th that Anne had told us about. So, but that could actually be the time that you could be working on the report.
And yes, and I do wanted to make it clear in my mind, the people who are not available to us, those are the people that are the board members, pretty much the chair and one or two us, the combination of chair and the members of the board. They are not available to answer any question if we have any questions for them.
Right. So I think the way I think about it, we should try to ask the question earlier. We have some follow-ups from the interview, given that we know the information. And again, I think so. This is the ask for all of us. In June 5th meeting, we should decide: are we reviewing? Are we presenting the meeting on report on June 17th or not, based on both in terms of our limited time as well as the progress that we have made, right? So this will be a decision that we'll make in that meeting.
Chair, or actually this question is for Anne. And if they don't present on the 17th, would they still be able to present sometime?
Oh, yeah.
Even if the commissions are not there?
Totally. We still have meetings that'll be going on throughout the month. It just means that not everyone will be present for the meeting presentation. We also can do it where you all present in a work session and then we vote in a regular session after the date when everybody's back. So we have lots of flexibility. Do not feel rushed on that front. And just because, I like to complicate things, I'm also just going to let you know that I will be out of town June 19th for about 10 days with my family. But Faiza's here and she can answer a lot of this. Kevin's here, so we will all make it work. But I just wanted to be transparent with you.
That's helpful. And I hope we can wrap this up in June, because July 2nd, I'm going away for 2 weeks for international travel. So
That sounds wonderful.
Speaking of that, I am traveling as well between June 14th and July 20th. But except of the travel days, I can be available online during that time. So, yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good. So I think what I'm hearing is that, if possible, this is the preferred timeline for us, if we can make it happen, I guess. That's what I'm hearing. But let's see on June 5th how people are feeling. Okay. Any topics that any new topics that was not on the agenda that anybody wants to bring up?
I just want to bring out maybe a correction. I think that there is a typo in the schedule there for Commissioner Willie, not Riley, right?
Wiley.
Thanks, everyone.
Willey.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Good catch. Well done. It's like you used to work here.
Thank you so much. Okay. So any other new topics that anybody wants to cover? Okay. If not, we can open the meeting for public comment. Kevin, can you check if anybody wants to comment?
I can, Mr. Chair. Would any member viewing this meeting online via Zoom wish to provide public comment to the Salary Commission for up to 2 minutes on any of their topics they've discussed tonight or anything related to it? Give you just a moment to utilize raise hand function. Not seeing any hands, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So we have covered everything on the agenda today. There's no new topics, so I'd like to call this meeting adjourned. Thank you guys for your time.
Always a pleasure, y'all. Thanks for letting me be here. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.